For us Passionists, our first profession of vows is one of the most important days of our life. It's where we become an official member of the congregation. While we have some of our members who are called to priesthood, we consider this to be a secondary vocation. Our primary call is to a vowed life in the Passionist community. This call can't be separated from community life. We commit ourselves to living a life in common, and the very nature of our vows reflect that. Each congregation has a different profession ceremony, which reflects their tradition and charism. For us as Passionists, our profession ceremony revolves around four main parts. Firstly, we lie prostrate as the Passion narrative is read. Now this reminds us that we are committing our entire lives to following Jesus and his passion, which our founder St. Paul of the Cross calls the greatest and most overwhelming work of God's love. Secondly, we receive the Passionist sign. This holds a lot of symbolic meaning for us. St. Paul of the Cross had a vision where Mother Mary handed him the black habit and the white sign, which is a cross with the name of Jesus underneath it. This receiving of the sign is a tradition that has been part of our profession ceremonies for over 300 years. Thirdly, we profess our vows. Every congregation within the Catholic tradition professes the three vows: poverty, chastity, and obedience. Some congregations and orders make a fourth vow. For us, as Passionists, our fourth vow, which we consider to be our first, is to keep alive the memory of the passion of Jesus Christ. Lastly, having made our vows, we are presented with a cross and a crown of thorns, and we process around the church. Similarly to the reading of the Passion narrative, this reminds us in a very visceral way that our lives are to be dedicated to the crucified of our world. We quite literally take up our cross in order to follow Jesus. Our first vow is an acknowledgement that Jesus' death was not simply a brutal execution. It was an act of pure love, given freely that we might have life. Jesus' passion was the result of a radical life, a life lived dedicated to the poor and the outcast, or as Pope Francis says, the peripheries. To keep alive the memory of the passion is to walk with those people, those who were carrying their own cross, knowing that Jesus' cross led to resurrection. Our profession ceremony is a culmination of a year spent in prayer, reflection, and discernment during our novitiate. However, rather than seeing this as the end of our journey, we see it as the beginning. It's in our profession that we are committing ourselves to living out the vision of St. Paul of the Cross.